Hey, here we are, live again on a Monday morning. And we're into December. This year we're into December. Got a little bit of an issue on my camera stand here. Let me just pop that down there slightly. There we are. Sorry about that. So, and can't you tell we're in December? Look at it. It's a dark, grey December morning at 8:30 in the UK. But there we go. I set my camera up with all the wrong things on it. I have to move this about a bit. There we go. Let's move that about a bit there. There we go. Is that right? Yeah, that's okay. So there we are. Sorry about that. A little bit of technical procedure going on there. Recovering from a bit of a cough and a cold, but that's a winter thing, is it? Even my vitamin D tablets didn't stop that one. So hey, back with the first December property finance Q&A. So we'll chat about property finance. That's what we'll do today. And how will we do that? Because you guys will ask me a question. Well, hopefully you will anyway. Ask me a question. As pretty much happens every week. I jump on here approximately 30 minutes or so. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's a bit shorter. Depends what people want to ask. And that's okay. And I'll give you a little bit of a catch up on what I've been doing in the past week, what I'm going to be doing this week, in the coming week. And there we go. So, cup of tea at hand. Actually, I'll tell you a little secret. It's not a cup of tea this morning. Well, it is tea, but it's honey and lemon. There you go. Ease my throat. Tea, honey and lemon. Yeah, good. So there we go. So what is it you want to know? What is it about property finance that you want to know? And when you've worked out what you want to know, just stick it in the chat box. Now I'm coming out through YouTube, coming out through LinkedIn, and also 2 Facebook groups. My property finance expert and my recycle cash Facebook groups. No, not groups. They're not groups. They're pages. They used to come out in groups, but Facebook put a stop to that well over a year ago, didn't they? Boo hiss on Facebook, eh? So, yeah, what do you want to know? Throw a question, I'll answer it. You get some knowledge as the person who asked the question, but also everyone else gets to benefit to that watches this both live or on the replay as well, because I leave the replay up and people also watch that, and that's good. So, what is it you want to know? What I've been doing this week was a bit of a mixed bag last week. It was from the last BRR boardroom of 2025. Small group of people met up in Heathrow and got a day of intensive BRR knowledge, backed up by a couple of Zoom sessions that I did earlier in the week, about a week ago, this time last week. Then we went on Friday at the other end of the spectrum, from people that were just checking out whether I'm a credible guy to work with, to people that have made masses of money from implementing the training that I've given them. That's my Ninja 100 Club. So they're a small group of people with some honorary members who are experts in their own right. And we had a whole day of chatting on Friday. And then yesterday, it was my Ninja Digital Implementation Day group. So a whole day chatting around the training that I've given them as well. So it was a very chatty week last week. There we go. So while I'm telling you about what I've been up to last week, what is it you want to know? Got a question? Fire it in the chat. I'll answer it. And we're sort of wrapping up, whatever it be, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We're wrapping up the 6th year of these property finance Q&As. Started them in lockdown 2020, and they proved so popular that I've carried on doing them ever since. Occasionally I miss one for bank holidays and all that sort of thing. But there we go. So I've got a question, pop it in the chat. Pop it in the chat and I'll deal with it while I take little slabs of my tea. So I'm going to tell you about something I'm doing this week. You can't come to it, but well, almost because it's sort of a closed shop, really. But well, apart from a few people, and then I'm going to tell you something that absolutely you can come to in early January. So we'll get all this Christmassy stuff out of the way, and then we'll crack on with what we're going to do in property in the new year. And I think it's going to be a very interesting time to get together and chat to other property investors and say, hey, what are you going to be doing in 2026? How are you going to adapt to that? So on the 10th of January in Heathrow, I'm going to run one of my 100% pitch-free networking events. And that's where you're going to get probably 50 plus people in a room together, and we're going to chat about property. And we're going to find out from pretty much everyone else there by just moving around the room over the course of the whole day, stopping for a nice 2-hour lunch, of course, which is part of it. And we're going to find out how are you going to make property work for you this year. And I think it probably could be the most interesting discussion. We have them every January, but I think this is going to be a really interesting one because hey, there's lots of changes going on, isn't there? With the Renters Reform Act being implemented in the middle of the year, middle of 2026. So, what is it how do you see it? And hey, come along, your parking's paid for. It's a modest price, £65 a ticket plus VAT. And it's down there, pitchfreenetworking.com. There you go. It's in that sort of area there, just under my name, pitchfreenetworking.com. Book yourself a ticket. Loads of tickets available. So do come along. Got some mentee case studies as well, too. One of them is an award winner, my mentee Nilesh. Excuse me. So he's going to break down his award-winning deal, auction of the year deal at the recent Property Investor Awards. And if you want to know how to put an all money out and extra money in your bank BRR deal, come and to hear me interview my mentee Paul, because he's going to tell us about that. So pitchfreenetworking.com, Saturday the 10th of January, Heathrow. I think it's going to be a great day. Why don't you book a ticket? Picture it there. It's just under my name. There you go. Here we go. Here's a question. Hey, and we're here for questions, aren't we? And it's coming in from LinkedIn, and it's Eric. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Let's have a read through your question. I always like to put it up on screen because I'll read it out, but for the visual people, rather than the auditory people, seeing it on screen as well as hearing me read it out makes it a lot easier to work along with. So this is one we discussed previously. Okay. 3-bed masonette in Plymouth, ex-housing association. Okay. Failed to sell 3 times at auction. Now I'm liking this. So what we've got is a property with a problem that people don't want to buy. And that usually is an opportunity to make a decent profit. Guided at 149 for all the good that did, eh, Eric? For all the good that did. It only works for you at 125. The agent claims 3 post-auction offers are already on the table. Really? But was willing to wait 7 days to show me the property again. Yes, of course. If you had 3 post-auction offers, they'd be going with them, wouldn't they, really? So I think that's a little bit of a smokescreen there, Eric. Is it worth going with a low offer of 2020? Well, look, if your offer is 100, if your maximum price is 125, then 120 isn't really low, is it? I mean, you're just giving yourself a little bit of wiggle room to go up to your 125 if you need to, because even if the seller wants to accept your 120, you know, natural human psychology wants to try and get you up a bit, and you can afford to go up £5,000, give them the satisfaction of having pulled you up a few grand, and still got it at the right price. So I think I'd absolutely go in at 100. Well, I'll tell you what I'd do. 120 sounds a bit finger in the air, pulled it off top. Why don't you go in at 121? 100, make it 121, Eric. That's what I'd say. And the agent, the housing association's got to be realising now. It's gone to auction 3 times. I'm guessing they've dropped the price each time, and still no takers. That they're actually pricing it wrong. Because if they were pricing it right, someone would have bought it. So I think you're in a very strong position there. If you want to view the property, and when you say show the property, does that mean we'll view it? Have you viewed it already? And you want to view it again? Do you need to view it again? So I think you now the auctioneer wants to get paid, don't they? I can't remember if it's a modern method of auction, Eric, or a traditional one. Maybe you'll just pop a quick comment in there and tell me. But you know, either way, they want to get paid, don't they? Whether it's traditional or modern method of auction, they want to get paid. And right now, possibly, you're their best bet of actually getting paid by actually a real buyer that wants to buy it. I'm not sure about these 3 other offers. They may or may not be true. My suspicion is they're not. Yeah, first in it went at 169. Okay, yeah. Dropped it to 149 and then thought they'd have another. Didn't sell at 149, so they thought, well, let's try again at 149. Not a lot of sense going on there, is there really? So a little bit of a detachment from reality, I'd say. Okay, you viewed it twice. Second time on Saturday, modern method of auction. Great. Okay. All right. So you've got 28 days to exchange, 28 days to complete. Yeah. Now, knowing modern method of auction as I do, the auctioneers are going to be quite aggressive with the housing association. They're going to say, look, we've got a guy here. He's offering 121. He's serious. You need to get realistic. Either meet that price or that's being offered, or come a lot closer to it. So I think, yeah, I think you're in a really strong position, Eric. So I just, I'll be just going in with your, I'll just be going in with your 121k offer. Good, and good luck. Let me know how you get on. Love to know. Had to change to YouTube as Facebook wouldn't work. That's weird, isn't it? Don't know why Facebook's not working, Lynn. I have to dig that, find that out later. But good job I have multiple channels then, isn't it? LinkedIn, YouTube, and 2 Facebook groups. There we are. Normally it tells me if there's a connection problem, but I didn't get anything of that come up. Okay, so anyway, good to have you here, Lynn. All's well with you. Good, and hope you're getting that that flat refurb finished off now. So that'd be good. Kotan, hey, how you doing, Kotan? Haven't seen you for a while. So not nice to have you back. Got a question today, or you just surfing in and seeing what's going on? Either way, it's fine. I don't mind. Good to see you. And then I've got something. We've got Clips Movies. Okay, new one on me. Don't know who Clips Movies is, but here we are. Nice to get a second morning. Good. So question time. See, we're here to ask questions or answer. You're here to ask questions. I'm here to answer them on property finance. So what does he want to know? What does he want to know about property finance? while I wait for you to decide what you want to ask on that, what am I doing this week? Bit of a quiet week this week, but I'm going to be. Where am I going to be? I'm going to be in Birmingham actually. On Thursday, there's a meeting, like a conference type of thing for people that run networking meetings, and I run a chain of them, property chats. They meet on the first Thursday, apart from first Thursday December. We give everyone the month off, although some of them are having a Christmas party type thing, but it's sort of more of an informal thing. Property chats are pretty informal anyway. So yeah, I'm going there. It's organised by a Property Filter, and there'll be a whole bunch of networking hosts there, and I get to get on a platform, on a panel, to talk about how you host multiple events under a brand. I'll be talking about my Property Chats brand. There'll be some other people there that run those meetings. I think Simon Zucchi's on it for one thing, Haley Andrews, from Hard Hats to Heels. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day, and we're going to we do a bit of networking. Why wouldn't you do that? It's a networking hosts meeting, so of course networking hosts are going to network. So there we go. Cam, and there we are. Cam, hello Cam, good to see you. And you booked a ticket for that, haven't you? You're coming to that, so there you go, Cam. So see you and some of the other people on Thursday. Good stuff. It's advertised now. What's advertised then? Do you mean that this Q&A is now streaming out on Facebook, or are you talking about something else? There we are. So housing association are open to selling the freehold for the cost of the legals as well. Need to think about this as well. So it's a freehold property, is it? Hang on a minute, we're just coming to Lynn. Lynn says it's advertised now, on to the next. The flat. Okay, so refurb's done, flat's advertised for rent, on to the next. Amazing. Loving your progress, Lynn. Right, back to Eric. Sorry, Eric, interrupted you there. So it's a leasehold, is it? Well, if the housing association will sell the freehold for just the cost of the legals, that is an absolute steal, Eric. Absolute steal. Take them up on that. Absolutely. Don't think about it, do it. Because a freehold is going to make it more valuable, and more mortgageable, and at cheaper rates too. So I mean that's a cracking offer. So definitely go for that. So go in with your 121 and where are we? Okay, it's got 99 years. Okay, all right. So, well, listen, why wouldn't you buy the freehold? It's just the cost of the legals. It won't add much to the value because it's already got 999 years. But it just squares. It just squares off a circle, doesn't it? Really. So yeah, I'll be definitely doing that. Yeah. So clips movies. You did have a question. There you go. Just had to wait a bit for you to bring it in, didn't I? Okay. All right. Is it possible to get a traditional buy-to-let urgent finance? Okay. So buy-to-lets are not urgent. So no buy-to-let lender really works in an urgent frame of time. So they're a bit more considered frame of mind. On a 61-year leasehold flat sold at auction. Oh, it's Steph. Hello, Steph. Now I see who you are. Yeah, nice to see you. No, you'll never get a buy-to-let mortgage on a 61-year-old leasehold flat sold at auction. You'll never get that done in 28 days. You're going to have to buy with cash or bridging, really, and then extend the lease. So Now, is it a traditional auction, or is it like Eric's one? Is it a modern method of auction? Because I've got an interest in one of my mentees has got an interesting angle on a modern method of auction. So they've agreed the price. They paid the modern method of auction fee, but then they've done an exchange with delay completion while they sort the lease out, and that's a short lease as well. So you might be able to do it like that. Or is it a traditional auction where you've got to complete in 28 days? If you've got 56 days in a modern method auction, possibly you could do that. So critical thing is what type of auction, traditional or modern method, Steph? And let me know. Fire it back here. Now, quite a few of my mentees on this morning. Cam's with me, Lynn's with me, Steph's with me, Eric. We're working on it, aren't we, Eric? Eh? We haven't quite got there yet, but you're edging your way. I think you've had some. I know from previous discussions about some other training that didn't work out as good as it could have done, which is often the case. The training, but there we go. So yeah, let me know, Steph. Good. So nice to see some of my mentees popping in for a chat this morning. Got anything else? We're rolling up to the 30 minutes, and I say I'm on for 30 minutes. Sometimes it drags over that. Sometimes it wraps up early. Different weeks, different issues. So, anything else you want to know? Could be quick because I'm going to be going. I've got lots to do today. So, what can I help you with? What property finance question can I help you with? Let me know, and we'll work from there. So, I'm in wind down mode now, really, because I've finished most of my events. I've got a couple of delivery commitments next week, which is the two Ninja Achievers groups. So we'll be off down to Bristol for a few days to cover those next week. But I'll be back and do this again next Monday. Okay, traditional, Steph. Yeah, okay. So, no, you're going to have to get a bridge loan on it and factor the price that you're prepared to offer on that. There we are. Nice. So what? Me winding down? Yeah. I mean, I don't do much in December at all, really. I mean, I let everyone focus on Christmas because that's what they really focused on, aren't they? So that's much easier to do. So, bit of still trying to get rid of that. Let's hope by next Monday when I come and do this again, I've got rid of that. That'd be nice. So let's start booking in for the 10th of January pitch free networking. Come and find out. And I think you really ought to be there because, you know, if you're thinking, well, what should I be doing in 2026 with property? Why not talk to 50 plus other people and get their opinion on what they're doing in 2026 in property? You know, it's probably a pivotal year because, as I said, you know, things are changing, aren't they? Renters Review Act comes into force mid-year. So I think come along, pitchfreenetworking.com. Look, it's just under my name down there, pitchfreenetworking.com. Lynn says, my very small mortgage is ending and I need to review. It's only 16% loan to value. No. I'm wondering if I should extend to add more or leave it at the current amount. Well, you know, there's two things, isn't there, really? I'm guessing at 16K, it's a repayment mortgage, so you're paying it down year by year and you must be close to the end. So you could leave it where it is and just use all that equity in your property on a cross-collateral basis when you find your next deal. I know you've looked at the line of credit issue before, but you're probably a bit too early in your journey to take on that commitment at the moment. But a cross-collateral bridging loan would be a good way to do that. And you could just, I mean, you could almost just sit on the variable rate at that low level. It's going to make very little difference to the monthly rate, and you could just sit on a something that doesn't lock you in. See if you can stay with your lender, and they won't lock you in on any fixed rate deal or anything else with a redemption penalty. Although with a small mortgage like that, it's going to be pretty small redemption penalty anyway. But we can just have a chat about that. Then there you go. Good. So there we go. Anyone else going to sneak in with a question, or we're going to wrap up for the day? I'm going to watch out for any bookings. Oh, and while I remember, Thursday evenings, every Thursday evening up to Christmas, workshops, BRR workshops. My colleague Melody is going to give you a 3-hour run through of the very basics of BRR. Why don't we put that in there? Let's pop that in there. There we are. brworkshops.com. If you want to have a quick Thursday evening, 7 till 10, insight into BRR with some recorded content from me and my colleague Melody hosting you through that event. Runs every Thursday. It's £41 plus VAT. Not a massive amount, is it? You don't have to leave home. You can just log in and come from where you are. So that's good. So yeah, feel free to log on there, book in, and get a bit of BRR on a Thursday evening. There you go. CJ is coming out. Hello, CJ. How you doing? So any effects on the property from the budget? Well, a bit too to tell, really, isn't it? Need a little bit more of digesting on that. Houses that were marketed at 2 million, we were now marketed just below. Well, I think that's going to just clog up the back end, the end, that end of the property market, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty short-sighted, really. But then, I guess it's a bit in keeping, really, isn't it? So yeah. So I think the property market will just chug along. Certain parts will stagnate, other parts not so much. Thoughts on the renters' rights bill? Well, there's some good bits about it. It gives tenants a bit more security. That can't be a bad thing. But I think it needs tenant vetting prior to agreeing to take them on as a tenant. I think is going to become more essential. I think that's going to become more essential. But as all these things, it's hard to predict how these things are just going to play out in time. Most of the time you just see it through, experiencing it. But I think those are the things, stagnating property market, certainly at the upper levels, and better tenant due diligence. And sadly, it's going to mean that with some tenants, landlords are going to be less likely to take a chance on them, which means they're going to find it really tough to find somewhere to rent. So, as with all these things, it's the law of unintended consequences. The people they're trying to help are the people that are gonna be worse off. It's a shame, and the inability to sort of work in a joined up manner is just sad to observe, really. So there we go. So we look like we're about done for today. Wrapping up just about on the 30-minute mark. So coming in there quite accurately today. So I'm going to be back next week, and we're going to do it all again. So in the meantime, have a great week, and I'll see you back here 8:30 next Monday morning. Bye for now.